Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. I'm going to demonstrate different ways that you can make a drink coaster or a mug rug. So you can make both or just choose one or the other. Now these are great for any time of year. You can make them for any season. But in this tutorial I'm going to be using holiday fabric for the fall and for the Christmas season. So let's get started. All of the supplies you need and the sizes of the fabric pieces you need to cut for both the mug rug and the drink coaster will be listed below your YouTube screen in the description section. So you just scroll down, click on Show More or the down arrow, and you will see all of that information appear. Okay, I'm going to show you different types of fabric that you can use. You can be very elegant and pretty, and you can select, like this is just a beautiful piece of fabric, autumn leaves and then a contrasting color. You can also select muted fabrics like this, and this has, I guess you call them, what is it, moose, deer, whatever. I'm not very good at describing animals. And it's got different leaves. It's really somewhat whimsical and kind of comical in a way. And then here is autumn leaves all over it. And then here's another one about a mountain lodge and welcoming fall in. So you can go either way, very elegant or whimsical or muted. In sewing, there are no rules. In other words, you can do whatever you want. You can make this any size you want. You can make it very small or larger. Mine, when it's done, is going to be 7.5 inches this way and 9.5 inches this way. This is a 7.5 inch square. This is a 2.5 inch wide strip. I'm going to stitch it right on one side, and I'm going to do a 1/4 inch seam. Always press your seams when you're done stitching. So take your iron across there and press, then unfold it and press again. And I've pushed my seam towards my strip. Now you're going to layer all your fabrics. You're going to take your fabric piece for the back, place it down with the pretty side facing down. Take your cotton batting and your fabric for the top, and you're going to center it inside of this fabric for the back. So make sure it's even on all edges. And then take some straight pins and pin it, scatter those pins all over the top. Whenever you're placing cotton batting inside of something, it's always important that you do quilting stitches so that the cotton batting doesn't shift and come apart when you're using it and washing it. So just do some simple stitches. You can do just straight stitches like this, every 2 to 2.5 inches apart, and you just go both ways, up and down and side to side. All computerized sewing machines, at least they should, have something called a serpentine stitch. And it's a wavy line, so you can just go up and down and side to side. Always test your serpentine stitch out on scrap fabric. You may need to lengthen and widen your stitch if necessary. Now your quilting stitches will come out more even if you use a walking foot. And it's a large foot, and you can get them online. You can go to Sewing Machine Parts online and purchase a walking foot. Now I did mine on a diagonal, so I went from corner down, and I just kept going over every few inches. Then I turned it and went the opposite direction. So once you're done with that, and by the way, this is what it looks like on the back, you can kind of see those wavy lines in there. Then you want to go to opposite sides, and you're going to do this step at your ironing board. You're going to fold the raw edge in towards the edge of your fabric on top and press it all the way. Then fold it over the edge and press it. And you do the same thing on this side. Then you're going to stitch close to the edge all along here. After you've stitched those two sides, now you want to go to the other two opposite edges and repeat that step. Fold it over, press, fold it over, press, and then stitch along this edge all the way across on both sides. I want you to look at this fabric. The reason why I chose this particular square is it had large print, had large things on it so you could identify that it's a pumpkin. And then also on the fabric, it had these little sayings on it, different ones. And this is pumpkin spice and everything nice. So it was a perfect selection for the fall holiday season. Now, if you don't want to make drink coasters, if you don't want to make the mug rug, you can also make a drink coaster. And you can even make them matching if you would like. Now this is a 5.5-inch square when I cut it out. And then the piece on the back was a 7.5-inch square. Again, you can make your coasters any size you like. This is some of my Christmas fabric, and I have a lot and I never seem to have enough. But again, this is large print, so it really makes more of a statement. And then you could use this as an accent fabric for the back and the piece that goes over the edges. I also like check fabric. I use that a lot. This fabric here with the large Christmas trees, it also has a little bit of a saying on it, would also be a great selection for the mug rug or a drink coaster. Also, this is more elegant and it has little sayings on it and large print, so it's also a great selection. Cardinal birds, the red cardinal birds, are also very popular during the holiday season. Now this is a very elegant looking fabric. And then here you have this candy cane fabric, which is also very whimsical. So they're great selections, not necessarily together, but look for things like this for the type of mug rug you want to make or drink coaster. These two fabrics are just your check squared fabrics, which I love. I use them on so many things. But this little piece here is called an applique. In other words, you stitch it on after you make this. Now, you don't have to use fabric that have these on them. You can also use cookie cutters like this to cut out shapes. You can find them for a gingerbread man, Christmas tree, all kinds of things. So look in the baking department during the holiday season for cookie cutters. Now let me show you the fabric that I use to make this. This is panel fabric, and I love panel fabric. I'm always looking for new types of panel fabric. And this specific panel fabric was designed to make these Christmas tree ornaments. So you would cut them out, stitch them together, put a little stuffing inside of it, and hang them up on your tree. Now you don't have to use them for that. Remember, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want with these. Now I've already cut one out. If you're interested in buying panel fabric like this, go to Etsy.com and enter Christmas panel fabric. You kind of have to scroll through it. I saw 3 or 4 different panel pieces that you could use to do this. So let me show you how I did mine. I cut out a Christmas stocking, and you try to cut out at least 1/4 inch around it. And then on the back, I just put some plain fabric. Now this Christmas stocking, the pretty side is down against the fabric on the back. So you're looking at the dull side. Then you want to just stitch on the edge of it all the way around. And then when you're done, either take scissors or a rotary cutter, and you're going to trim the seam down to about 1/8 inch wide. Now pull the back fabric away from the front fabric. And you're going to cut a little hole in the back fabric, like that. Then go in and cut a larger hole, like this. And then turn it front side out. When you're done, press this flat. And then here is my drink coaster. And you make the drink coaster the same identical way that you make your mug rug. You just layer your fabrics, quilting stitches, fold the edges over, press and stitch. And again, you can cut these any size. This one was just a little bit larger because my applique piece was larger. So you could put it on a diagonal like this, or you can do it straight up and down. Whichever way you decide, you want to go ahead, and I'm going to do it at a diagonal because I think it fits better. Pin it down all the way around. Once you have it pinned down, there's multiple ways you can do this to get it stitched on. You can do a straight stitch and stitch close to the edge all the way around. Or you can do a zigzag stitch all the way around the edges. If you have a computerized sewing machine, you probably have at least one or more applique stitches. And if you're not sure, just look in your user's manual, and I bet you've got at least one. This is one of the applique stitches on my machine, and this is my favorite one. It doesn't have a name, it looks something like a blanket stitch, a small blanket stitch. And so when you've decided on which applique you want to take your open toe presser foot. If you don't have an open toe presser foot, you can buy them online. Just go to Sewing Machine Parts online, and they've got them for multiple models of sewing machine. The reason why you want to use open toe is it's easy to see where you're stitching. So you want to keep the center of the presser foot right on the edge and just go around your curves really slow. So go ahead and select a stitch and then stitch it down. You don't have to use the thread that's the same color of your fabric, only if you want to. It just looks more like folk art if you use a different color. I don't know, it just sort of has that old-fashioned Christmas feel to it. Remember, you can do the same thing with just regular fabric. You might see a shape or an object that's large. Remember, just cut around it at least 1/4 of an inch. Don't cut it right on the edge of the object. I have another tutorial on small mug rugs and coffee cozies. They help to keep your cup of your hot beverage nice and warm. Now there will be a link to the tutorial on this. So this is another option. You can use holiday fabric. Remember, start looking now for those fabric choices. I will also have more detailed tutorials on machine applique projects in the description section. Now, while you're down there, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.